Right. So I have put several videos out about the process of working on the black and black italic source of name sans mono. But to be honest, it does take a little bit of extra time to do the work if I'm trying to narrate the work. And also, sometimes I want to work in the evening or when it's hot and I need the air conditioner on. So that said, I really wanted to finish the basic uppercase of the upright black and the italic black so that I could actually like start to get into the next phase of this, which was exporting like actual regular to black styles, especially the medium and bold, which I'm using on my website in the design phase here. Uh, so yeah, I just uh, threw on the recording and I've sped it up a lot to make a time lapse. And I will kind of narrate the time lapse to convey what I was doing. But I figure that probably if you've been watching, if anybody has been watching this, you only have so much patience. You're human. So this is kind of another way to see a higher level overview of the process. And that can teach you some things as well. If you've watched the other videos, you're pretty familiar with this setup. I use a spacing string generator to just do like HH letter, HO letter, OO, to have a basic way to see how the spacing is working, how the strokes are working, etc. And how those are related to the control characters, as we call them, of the typeface. You'll notice actually a lot of this video is just me slightly reducing the stroke weight and the width of the uppercase. Basically, I had generated these sources by getting optical size 12 of name sans, and that N and O were almost exactly what felt right for these kind of base styles of the font. But the uppercase in a typical, say, sans serif typeface is going to be taller and wider than the lowercase. And so to kind of make it feel at home, often the strokes are made heavier to kind of balance with the lowercase and have a little bit of extra kind of impact on the page. If they're the exact same stroke thickness, that also does happen, but they can tend to look too light actually optically. So yeah, I kind of went back here and thought like, okay, how dense should the H and O be against the lowercase control characters? I adjusted that. And then not only am I adjusting the width of all the other uppercase, but I'm also slightly tweaking the stroke weight to match that. And yeah, I mean, I'm like, because I'm making things more narrow, I'm making some of these corner curves a little tighter in the letters that have a straight side, but a curve like the O and the R and the D and all of that. Of course, making the M and W super narrow, you have to lighten up their strokes quite a bit so that they aren't just like a black spot on the page, or on the screen, as it were. Yeah. So I love like all uppercase monospace type. It looks really neat to me. I mean, yeah, how many times can I say that I like the look of monospace type? But there it is, uppercase monospace. Especially nice somehow. So yeah, and then I went through and updated the italic uppercase as well, the black italic uppercase. I'm somewhat trying to just repeat, like slant the things I did in the uppercase, but also correct those curves, kind of make them narrow, make them feel at home in this slightly more condensed style. Yeah, the uppercase is almost like the uppercase of a monospace feels a bit like making a condensed style within a normal style font, if that makes sense. Um, if you look at the stroke thickness of a regular width font, say like Sharp Grotesque or Mallory from Frere Jones type, the strokes for say the bold weight of the normal width are almost certainly somewhat thicker than the strokes for the condensed or compressed version of that same typeface. And that's because as a type designer, you're trying to achieve the same color on the page or the same overall impression of boldness or weight. And if things are more compressed, you've just gotten more basically black figure space or ink or pixels to fit into the same or into a smaller space. So that probably makes more sense than the literal words I'm saying. Hopefully, it is helpful to go and kind of really look at something and how somebody's approached widths. Then I had to, make a few adjustments to punctuation that was popping up a lot. I'm not going to have to do like a full character set for my relatively limited specific use on my website and in coding. So I will obviously do those things, but for now, I could get away with just kind of getting everything to interpolate correctly. And that's what you see in that second pass. Some of those things weren't yet compatible for interpolation, and I kind of show that process more in previous videos. But yeah, I'm really excited to see like where this is headed. And yeah, sometimes you just gotta like sit down and crank through some stuff rather than dragging it out for social media every time. But yeah, the next video I intend to make, I will like kind of go through some of the basic steps of what I do to ensure some quality or improve the quality of a typeface. So, yeah, that is both visual improvements and technical improvements. And I'll get to it very soon. So you'll see that in the next video, I think. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're working on any sort of design or type or whatever else you're working on, I hope it's going great, and I hope you have a great day.